Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. And the track action will be getting underway very shortly. I've got Anthony Davidson, Naomi Schiff alongside me. Before we focus on that, Naomi, I'd just like us to consider some of these big rumours that are circulating at the moment about driver moves up and down the paddock. Just how distracting is it to focus on putting in strong performances at the same time as negotiating your future?
Well, it can be a really big distraction, particularly for the drivers who are out of contract at the moment. And for them, it's going to be the challenge of managing what they're doing off track and compartmentalizing that from what happens on track, because we know that this next decision in their career is going to be a big one. So that can put a lot of pressure on your shoulders, but you don't want that to put so much pressure on your shoulders that you start overdriving, making mistakes, because in this sport, you can go from hero to zero in an instant.
I mean, easier said than done, Anton. As we pass by a driver now who's considering their future, even if you've got a contract, they're not necessarily even worth the paper they're written on. You've got to keep putting in really big, impressive performances.
It's an industry that demands perfection from not just the team, but the drivers as well, first and foremost. So if you start to relax in any way, even if you have a multi-year deal in place, like you say, not worth the paper it's written on, because you can be kicked out before you know it. If the performances start to slip, the team will have their eye on you straight away and you'll be out the door.
So no room for complacency. Let's see who can put in some big performances on track today. All the action up next. Don't go anywhere.
High-speed straights, heady elevation changes and dramatic corners. What is there not to love about today? It's qualifying day here at Spa-Francorchamps.
All clear the garage, please. Cars ready to leave. Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap. Okay, we've only got one lap of fuel remaining.
That's it for sprint qualifying. Plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend. So we'll see you all tomorrow. So it's all about speed in today's sprint. Not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? Spa-Francorchamps today, a circuit that spans 4.35 miles. There are tons of elevation changes along the way too. 19 corners making up this circuit, with 9 of those to the right and the remaining 10 to the left. This track's a great one for fans of pure speed, and the average lap speed comes close to a whopping 145 miles per hour. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Surfer Girl lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Tsunoda, Piastri, George Russell, and Fernando Alonso, Leclerc, Ocon, Stroll, and Carlos Sainz, Albon, Mayer, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Hulkenberg, Lawson, Norris, Isaac Hadjar, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli, Gasly, Bortoletto, Jackson, and Ollie Behrman rounds off the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And alongside me today, former Formula One driver and former world champion too. See, told you I'd give you a big intro. Anthony Davidson, hello. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Here we go then. The formation lap is underway ahead of today's sprint. As all the cars take their positions on the grid, the final preparations have been made, and all that's left is for the drivers to deliver on track.
Sonoda behind. Okay, Sonoda's behind you. And Verstappen's behind. Now use DRS now available. We've got a lot of spare energy, okay to use your overtake button. job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. No need to worry about the tyre condition for now, everything's looking good. battery charge is high. Let's use that overtake button a bit more. Final lap, push, push. Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So with the sprint concluded, join us next time for qualifying and of course the main event, this weekend's Formula One Grand Prix. We'll see you next time. High-speed straights, heady elevation changes and dramatic corners. What is there not to love about today? It's qualifying day here at Spa-Francorchamps.
Everyone ready? Okay, let's go. They're currently 5th. Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps. Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please. First position, front of the pack, and just behind us, our fastest lap at the moment, 1 minute 48.8. Leclerc, Norris and Mayer. Leclerc is behind you. Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining.
Welcome to this visit to the Ardennes countryside. Spa-Francorchamps hosted its first Grand Prix back in 1925, and this historic track is loved by drivers and fans alike. And us here in the commentary box too. So it's a warm welcome from the Belgian Grand Prix. So here we are once again, ready to go racing through the Ardennes forest. 4.35 miles of long straights, fast corners and massive elevation changes. It makes this not only one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar, but one that makes for some consistently high quality racing as well. Simply put it, there's no place quite like it. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Surfer Girl lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Jackson, Max Verstappen, and Tsunoda, Antonelli, Piastri, Albon, and Liam Lawson, Ocon, Sainz, Pierre Gasly, and Hülkenberg, Hamilton, Bortoletto, George Russell, and Fernando Alonso, Behrman, Stroll, Mayer, and Isaac Hadjar rounds off the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. Well, it's been a long time since I last worked with you. Good to see you again today, Anthony Davidson. And let's talk momentum with this driver. What a sprint it was. They start at 0 once again for today, but with a huge amount of confidence, surely. Well, they'll definitely be glad that there's not a sprint race today. Let's face it, the sprint couldn't have gone much worse, but what we're looking for today is a reaction. Look, we know it's not where you start, it's where you finish, but let's talk about the start now. What's there to help the drivers get away well?
Big pressure at the start of the race, Crofty, for all of them up and down the grid, no matter where you are. But the drivers these days, they practice, practice and practice. They have rigs with them at the circuit where they can sit down with the actual steering wheel from the real car, and they've got lights that they react to. The clutch paddle is tailored around the driver's hands, around their fingers, so they can have optimum position before they start. So there's so much thought and effort that goes into getting these cars off the line.
We're underway for the formation lap here at Spa. The cars begin their lap around the circuit that rises and falls through the hills of the Ardennes forest. As always, the fans are here in their thousands and the atmosphere is incredible. We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
now use DRS. DRS now available. Green flag. Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy. Systems all looking good, head down. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 15.0 seconds. Okay mate, Verstappen behind you now. It is critical for our race that we keep them behind, please. teammate. It was a good try, but we didn't quite meet our targets. Not to worry, get your head down and chin up. Let's focus right the way into the checkered flag. We're approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums. No need to worry about the tyre condition for now, everything's looking good. Okay, the car behind has front wing damage. This is our opportunity. And Verstappen's behind. They're on old mediums. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres. Time last lap, 1:55.9. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. Okay, the car behind has some front wing damage. We should be able to pull a gap. Let's go. Jackson's ahead of you, and the time last lap, 1:55.4. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on old mediums. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. Okay, we're dropping back by around 4/10 a lap. Give it everything you got. Gap to your teammate behind, 14.8 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're in 15th. Time last lap, 1:55.9. Okay, as things stand, we'll be 3rd in the championship. Okay, your pit window opens next lap. Okay, so the current fastest lap, 1:53.5. Antonelli's behind you, and the time last lap, 1:58.1. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 5 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. Okay, clear. Okay, we want you to pit this lap, so push now, push. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 14.6 seconds. radar is clear, weather is looking good for now. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment. Pit now. Let's go now, come on! Alright, we'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in this strategy. This is our true position. They've pitted as well. In for his stop now. Sonoda's ahead of you. Time last lap, 2:08.9. Less than a second separates you. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are just one lap old. We think they've got one more stop. No issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Okay, that's Sonoda just ahead. Come on, push hard. Okay, gap to the car ahead, 0.8 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 2 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap, 1 minute, 52.8. Systems all looking good, head down. Okay, mate, your lap times are all over the place right now. We've got to have consistency. Come on, we can do better than this. Fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Sonoda ahead. Time last lap, 1:52.4. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 3 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. This is great stuff. We're gaining by 0.3 a lap. Good work. Sonoda's ahead of you. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 3 laps old. And the time last lap, 1 minute, 52.4. We think they've got one more stop. The car ahead has some front wing damage, but it's not losing too much pace yet. Just be aware. This is great stuff. We're gaining by 0.3 a lap. Good work. The underbody's taken a little damage. Just watch out for it. Systems all looking good. Head down. The underbody's taken a little damage, just watch out for it. We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time. Okay, as things stand, we'll be 3rd in the championship. tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Gap to your teammate behind, 17.4 seconds. Okay, we think the underbody's incurred some slight damage, but nothing too serious at the moment, just be careful. Now we're boxing this lap. Box. Okay, don't worry about that target for now. Let's just focus on this pit stop. Okay, go! That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. Okay, Sainz is ahead of you. Time last lap, 1:56.7. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Okay, their tyres are 7 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Hamilton's behind you now. They're on old mediums. And the time last lap, 1:55.9. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 11.1 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres. Time last lap, 1:53.0. Norris just ahead, push for the position, and the time last lap, 1:53.0. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 11.1 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres. Piastri's behind. Time last lap, 1:57.1. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Their tyres are 5 laps old. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. That's a new fastest lap of the race. We're increasing our gap on the car behind by around a second a lap. Okay mate, right, we've got some clear track in front of us, so let's make best use of it and make the next lap a quick one. You got this. Mate, you made that look easy. Nice work. That's why I love working with you. Smashed it. Lando ahead. Lando's ahead of you now. Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 8.8 seconds. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Their tyres are 6 laps old. And the time last lap, 1:53.3. This is great. We're gaining by around 9/10 a lap. Keep it up. threat of rain for the time being, conditions look good. Okay, dry seem like the best tyre for now. A second a lap on the car behind. Really good stuff. It looks like we might have an issue. Hang in there, we're attempting to manage it. There seems to be an issue with our ERS. Okay, we have a problem with ERS. We have a problem with the ERS. Problem with the ERS, it should be back online now. Okay, the underbody's taken some damage, you might start to notice it soon. Systems all looking good, head down. Got a lot of spare energy, okay to use your overtake button. Okay, he's sat in P2. Norris just ahead. Push for the position. And gap to the car in front, 8.6 seconds. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Piastri's behind you now. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 2 laps left. Next time by will be your final lap. Okay mate, final lap. Keep your concentration and let's bring it home. And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Here's the checkered flag, and our winner has landed. It's Lando Norris for victory.
And that's 2 wins in a row now, of course, Crofty. And it marks the fact that it's not a fluke. So, you know, their head's in the right space. What more can we see going forwards?
It's time to bring out the bubbly and spray it around. It's our podium celebrations. He holds the trophy aloft, and why shouldn't he? A richly deserved win today for Lando Norris. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.